Well, Ghana's capital of Accra has dropped 30 places to exit the dreaded ranking of Africa's top 10 most expensive cities. According to the Mercer 2021 Cost of Living City Ranking, the city ranked the 11th most expensive city in Africa as at 2021. We just want to pull up, the statistic for you to appreciate what exactly we're trying to mean, especially when it, increased from being the second most expensive city in Africa in 2020. You can see the ranking on your screen there. We have 10 cities in Africa, Ghana being 11. So that's just 1 point shy of being part of the dreaded mark. And of course, Ghana globally ranks 87, and in Africa, we rank 11 when it comes to the expensive cities in Africa. Interestingly though, Chad city of N'Djamena ranked 13 globally and the first in Africa as the most expensive city on the continent. But of course, joining us to discuss is Country Director of Carter International, Apia Kusi Edumako. We're grateful to say that you could join us. Well, first of all, what does Accra's performance say about the cost of living from 2020 to 2021 when it comes to trade activity and indeed spending in this regard?
For many years that Accra has been one of the most expensive cities to live in. And most people in Accra, they can't even balance their budget because their expenditure far exceeds their income. And for a city to attain a notoriety in terms of high cost of living, then I think it's not good for the people, because you realize that most of the people who have money to spend are the experts, the diplomats, and those who are working in the oil and gas and the banking sector. The real economy people who are teachers, drivers, bases, and others, they live in this city, but they do not live on the wealth of an expensive city. So for us, I think that we need to do more to lessen the plight of cost of living in Accra, especially.
And of course, we are seeing the fact that Accra dropped 30 places, kind of good news for us. But did economic factors such as the collapse in crude oil prices and the economic shocks of COVID-19, did it really help us in this stead?
I wouldn't think so, and I still would even doubt the data that was used to put Ghana as having dropped, because if you go into the market, if you listen to people, you realize that things are still expensive. Houses have been quoted in dollars, and office spaces here in Accra is even more expensive. A square meter office space in Accra is even more expensive compared to a square meter space in Manhattan. And so for us to read from the Mercer report that Accra has dropped, I think for me, I don't think that the outcome of the study represents the realities we have in Accra.
Well,
maybe, I don't know when the data was collected, but normally such a report, the data might have been collected before the surging price of the crude oil.
Indeed, and that remains part of the factors that actually influence the ranking this time around, aside issues regarding exchange rates and the responses for expatriates, especially when they are the main audience for this particular, the main target for this particular ranking. But how sustainable can this ranking be, considering the high cost of living that you've correctly pointed out, currently being a major concern for not just Ghanaians, but expatriates as well?
I think for government owes duty to its citizens first, and also to ensure that expats coming into Ghana also enjoy a decent and a more, a good environment. And for us to be able to resolve this requires a long-term effort. I think one of the things we need to look at is the housing. Already we have a huge deficit in the housing in Ghana. And if we want to bring the housing prices down, then we need to increase the supply of residential unit to allow people to be able to jump on board. And even the mortgage market. Accra is such that if you are not working in some sectors of the economy, you can't even afford to get a mortgage. Even doctors with more than 15 years of practice, their salary cannot even get them a mortgage. And if you look at this, it tells you that we are not building a country for the people, but rather we are targeting foreign nationals. We are targeting foreign nationals. And if you do so, then you are not helping your people. And I think government needs to look at it to ensure that the prices we have in Ghana, the economy, because look, you work here in Accra, the salaries that you earn cannot even afford you a decent place. Then if this is so, then it's a problem.
Indeed. Mr. Adumako, I want you to really have a look at the statistic that, we are going to be putting on the screen, because it's quite interesting to note that Nigeria, for example, appeared twice. We had two cities from Abuja and Lagos as well ranking high this time around. The city of Lagos being, the second most expensive city in Africa, with Ghana, trailing behind. But I want us to have quite an appreciation of the information backing this statistic, because Mercer also points out the fact that expatriates say that doing business, for example, in Lagos is quite expensive as compared to doing business in Ghana. They also cite the peaceful environment in the capital, they cite the ease of doing business, as I've already stated, and they also cite the performance of the exchange rates in the country. How does this leverage on our performance?
I think the ranking is a function of a lot of variables. And for Ghana, we do well on certain things, like our country Accra is very peaceful, the ease of movement at night and all those things can also inure to advantage. However, when it comes to some cost, for example, if you are looking at hotel prices in Accra, I got some guests from Japan last week, and they checked into a hotel, a 3-star. I will not mention the name of the hotel, and they were quoting $400, $250 a night. And they said no. I mean, since they are traveling on a public taxpayers funded money, it will not make sense for them to pay $250 a night when they can find a hotel, a decent one for $100. All these things are indicative of the fact that, our prices are high. Nigeria has, when you come to Ghana, Nigeria problem might be different. Nigeria has two major cities, Lagos and Abuja. But Accra, if you are looking at Ghana, everybody wants to come to Accra. So that put a lot of pressure in Accra. And I can still foresee that any subsequent research data that will be collected, we'll see Ghana Ghana climbing up again, because when people are charging land prices in dollars, you rent is in dollars, and almost everything that is being sold out in this country is being sold here are all quoted in dollars. And I think that until we're able to stop that lifestyle, we will not be able to climb down, and we should be able to find a way to make Accra habitable for everybody, regardless of your income.
Finally, we're having this discussion just, I think, a year and, some months into the implementation of the Continental Free Trade Agreement area. Early on, we did hear from Wamkele Mene about the, environment in which respective signatories are initiating to attract investment into the sector. Having to see most of these African cities, drive away expatriates, literally, because of the high cost of engagement in terms of business, living and everything. How can this influence our posture when it comes to the implementation of AFTA to investors out there?
I think for any investor coming to set up a business, they want to look at the cost of living. They look at the cost of kilowatt of electricity. And they look at the cost of office space. in Accra. And if all the time the city is seeing increase its prices going up, I think that investors would look at other countries that have seen relative stability in their prices. Unfortunately, our price movement in Ghana has been going up all the time. In some countries, we see that they do very well with stability, but not the same cannot be said about Ghana. And I think that we need to do more as a government and as economy to ensure that we do everything within our reach to keep prices, stable.
All right.
Because unfortunately, for example, when your CD goes down, it may not be able to recover again, and it becomes a permanent damage onto the economy.
Kusi Operdumako, Executive Director, CAT International, grateful that I could join us. And of course, we shall be monitoring this various strands of this ranking to give you updates as and when we can.